the playground of lost souls. Ever since I moved into the old house on Elm Street, I couldn't shake the feeling of being watched. It was a feeling that grew stronger each day, especially when I ventured into the backyard. There, a dilapidated playground stood, its rusty swings creaking in the breeze. One moonless night, I heard the distant laughter of children. I peeked out my window and saw them, ghostly figures swinging back and forth, their eyes locked onto me. Frozen in fear, I watched as they beckoned me to join them. But I knew they were no ordinary children. They were the lost souls of the past. With trembling legs, I descended into the backyard, drawn to the haunting playground. The ghostly children whispered in my ears, their voices a chilling melody. They told me of the games they played and the secrets they shared, all in that forsaken playground. As we played under the cold, spectral moonlight, I realized they wanted something from me, my soul. In their eyes, I saw the hunger for the life they had lost. With every push of the swing and every leap from the slide, they drew me closer to their world. Terrified yet entranced, I knew I had to break free. With a final leap from the swing, I sprinted back to the house. The laughter of the ghostly children echoed behind me, their voices fading into the night. From that day on, I avoided the backyard, but their whispers still followed me. They hungered for the life I had, and I knew I could never escape their grasp. The Schoolhouse Spectres. The old schoolhouse on the outskirts of town was always a place of dread. Stories of ghostly children who once attended it filled the local lore. As a historian, I couldn't resist the temptation to explore the decaying building. One gloomy afternoon, I entered the forsaken schoolhouse. Dusty desks lined the classrooms, and faded drawings adorned the walls. As I roamed the halls, I heard the faint echoes of children's laughter. Curiosity drove me deeper into the heart of the school. The laughter grew louder, more distinct, and the classrooms seemed to come alive. I saw ghostly children, transparent and eerie, filling the desks as if attending a lesson. They looked at me with hollow eyes, their spectral forms longing for something I couldn't comprehend. Their laughter turned into mournful cries, and their hands reached out, pleading for a help. I tried to leave, but the schoolhouse refused to release me. The doors slammed shut, and the ghostly children encircled me. Their voices filled my ears, telling tales of a terrible fire that had claimed their lives. They wanted me to bear witness to their pain, to remember the tragedy that had befallen them. As the flames of their stories burned around me, I felt their anguish seeping into my soul. Desperation gripped me, and I whispered words of solace. The ghostly children's cries grew faint, and the schoolhouse relented. With a final glance at their spectral forms, I fled the building, haunted by their stories. The Midnight Visitors. I had always been a skeptic when it came to the supernatural, but that changed one fateful night. As I lay in bed, I heard the soft pitter-patter of tiny footsteps in the hallway. I dismissed it as my imagination until I saw their eerie glow under my bedroom door. With my heart racing, I slowly opened the door and found myself face to face with a group of ghostly children. Their eyes shone with an otherworldly light, and their translucent figures hovered above the ground. They beckoned me to follow them, their small hands gesturing towards the darkened living room. Fear gnawed at me, but curiosity got the better of me, and I trailed after them. In the living room, they formed a circle and began to chant in an ancient, incomprehensible language. A chill crept down my spine as the room grew colder, and shadows danced on the walls. Their chanting intensified, and I felt an overwhelming sense of dread. Suddenly, the room was filled with the apparitions of children from different eras, all trapped between this world and the next. Their faces contorted in anguish as they shared stories of their untimely deaths. The ghostly children implored me to help them cross over, to release them from their eternal torment. I didn't know how, but I couldn't refuse their desperate pleas. Together, we embarked on a journey to unravel the mysteries of their deaths and the reasons they remain trapped. Each night, they returned, sharing more of their stories and uncovering the truth behind their restless spirits. As the pieces of their stories fell into place, the room brightened, and the ghostly children's forms began to fade. With smiles of gratitude, they disappeared, leaving me in a room no longer haunted by their presence. Though they were gone, their stories stayed with me, a chilling reminder that sometimes, even the most skeptical among us can be touched by the supernatural.